Welcome back to Court TV Live. The murder trial for Chad Daybell is beginning next week with jury selection. And ahead of his trial, Daybell has been moved from eastern Idaho to the Ada County Jail. He's accused of first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit first-degree murder and several deaths. The deaths of his wife, Tammy Daybell, and for Lori Daybell's children, JJ and Tylee Ryan.
Scripps News Boise reporter Don Nelson spoke with Chad's attorney, one of my favorite, John Pryor. I'll tell you what. This case is going to be fascinating because of John Pryor. He is an advocate.
And the cameras that will allow us to see his advocacy on display.
It is going to be a lot different than Lori's trial. But he talked to John Pryor, and here is what John Pryor said about the upcoming trial.
Attorney John Pryor has been working on the Chad Daybell case for almost 4 years. And you might wonder how Pryor was thrust into the national spotlight.
All I can say is that he reached out to me, and that's how it started. And at this point, we're ready to go forward, and he wants to tell his story.
That story will start next week with jury selection in a trial that's expected to last anywhere from 8 to 10 weeks. And if you think Pryor has assembled a team to take on this high-profile case, think again.
Well, unfortunately, Don, I'm doing this myself, so that makes things a little challenging. But fortunately, I've had about 3 years and 10 months to go through all the evidence, to sort of look at what I want to present to the jury, and I'm looking forward to my opportunity to do that.
I asked Pryor, who attended Lori Vallow Daybell's trial on a regular basis, if he learned anything that he could use in Chad Daybell's case.
Did I learn a lot of new things? Oh, absolutely. Did I see what the prosecutor intends to do? Yes. Was it a surprise? No.
I was also curious whether Lori could be called to the stand.
It's possible. It's always possible. Anybody who's connected to a case could be called. And I don't want to and I want to be clear. I'm not telling you that I am or that the state is or anybody else is. Okay. But anybody could be called. If you have an involvement in this case, potentially you could become a witness in this case.
The trial hasn't started yet, but John Pryor is grateful for one thing.
I'm grateful that Judge Boyce decided to move the trial over to Ada County. One of the main reasons I'm grateful is I know the folks in Ada County. I've spent better than half my life living here.
And for the next few months, most of that time will be spent at the Ada County Courthouse.
Chad's wife, Lori Vallow Daybell, of course, is currently serving a life sentence for these murders. She went through this same courthouse, found guilty. Later this year, she'll be on trial in Arizona for the murder of her fourth husband, Charles Vallow.
Now, Court TV's Julie Grant spoke with Lori's brother, Adam Cox, on opening statements this morning about these trials and how they're impacting their family. Take a listen.
It's been it's unbelievable what happened. Like, it's something that you just never think would ever happen to your family, and then it happens, and you see people on TV talk about this all the time. I just never thought that would happen to my family, and I just never even came close to thinking anything like this would happen. So it's really hard to figure out how to process it. How it's been 4 years, and I'm still trying to process it and try to heal from it, make sense of it, and so it's definitely a difficult life experience.
I'm sure
with Lori, you know, obviously Lori was a different person, but this wasn't an overnight thing. We talk about this in one of my podcasts that, you know, it wasn't just one day she snapped. I think this was maybe 2 or 3 years of her going down a path. And then when she met Chad, it's like putting gas on the fire. But as far as delusional goes, I remember being at her house, and we have family gatherings at her and Charles's house all the time. And, you know, she had been going down this path of, you know, talking about the end of the world and things like that. So when we were talking in the kitchen, she had mentioned that she's transitioning into a translated being. Immortal being, that she didn't have to eat anymore, and if somebody shot her with a gun, the bullet wouldn't you know, affect her. So when she was saying stuff like that, I just looked at her and I said, well, Lori, you know, I'm you know, that's not true. And she said, you think I'm crazy, don't you? And I was like, I don't know if you're crazy or not. I just know that what you're telling me is not true. And that literally was the last conversation we had.
Insight there from brother of Lori Vallow Daybell. Let's bring back in criminal defense attorney, former district attorney Matthew Mangino. He's usually he's in Pittsburgh, likely there today as well. Your thoughts looking now towards Chad's trial? Getting a jury could be difficult. Yes, they've moved it to Boise, but this is a community that lived through the Lori Vallow trial and a state that lived through these gruesome murders. How difficult do you think it's going to be? And what are you looking for if you're John Pryor during jury selection?
Well, as the defense attorney, you're looking to see if you can get a pool of jurors who say they can be fair and impartial. It doesn't matter whether or not these jurors have heard about the case or they've read about the case or they know about Lori's trial. It's just a matter of whether they can set that aside and be fair and impartial in this case. And so, you know, the case has been moved, and I was surprised to hear him say he was happy it was moved, not because he thought he could get a jury, but because he spent a lot of time there and knows people there. Well, you know, that's his position. But I think it's important to understand that a change of venue or a change of veneer can happen more than once, and it can happen while you're picking a jury. If you see that you can't find a pool of jurors who say they can be fair and impartial in this case.
Let's talk about Lori Vallow Daybell and what the realities are of whether or not a defendant can call her to the stand. I mean, she's got other cases pending. She has appeals pending. Is it even possible that if she takes the stand that she would actually be able to testify, whether that be the prosecution calling her or the defense?
I would think that her legal counsel would commit malpractice if they permitted her to take the witness stand and testify. Because, number one, she has appeals pending. Anything she says could be used against her if she were granted a new trial. She has other cases pending, so anything she says could be used in those trials. I mean, if she were called either by the prosecution or the defense, I would expect her to answer every single question with, you know, I am not going to answer on the grounds that it may incriminate.
Yeah,
there's always the chance that she wants to. If she wanted to take the stand for Chad.
Yeah. Covering the trial, her trial, you got the sense that she still thinks her and Chad are on the right path here and that the rest of us are going to be in trouble at the end of the world, which could come at any time, of course. We'll see. This, again, jury selection starts Monday, and this is going to be fascinating as it rolls out. Matthew, as always, thank you, sir. Appreciate your time and expertise. Enjoy the rest of your day. My time is up.